I was here when the discussion about it started, but I'm sure people were outraged back home. Yeah. There's so much to say, you know? There's a lot of misunderstanding of Islam in America, and I think that Muslims are terrorists. The idea that we believe that everyone else should be Muslim, the idea that we like to use violence. There's more Islamophobia than an attempt to understand Islam, which is unfortunate.
It doesn't go with the whole right of freedom of religion, because you're actually insulting your fellow Americans, first of all. Second of all, you're insulting over 1.6 billion followers. I don't think it's a very smart thing to do.
I think what we learned as a collective, you know, global community is that we're still at ground zero in terms of understanding each other.
For the American Muslim students might wonder, well, what does this mean for us as American Muslims? And for international students, I think it's a perception of, is Islam welcome in America? Now, I'm not saying that this incident should necessarily generate that kind of response, but I think it does. It's an emotional thing when you see your religion being talked about in the national press.
And so by actually having a lot of non-Muslims step up and say this is wrong, I think it shows a lot about America and about the freedom of religion. It shows that it actually exists, and it shows that Muslims are actually treated as Americans, because a lot of non-Muslims actually stepped up and said this is just wrong.
It's important for Americans to understand Islam, and I feel like they should have taken the opportunity of what's going on to do that.
If it's really tolerated, and these actions are they just go by without any opposition, I think it would actually promote intolerance for the religion. So
even for Muslims, like the terrorist attacks, like the terrorists hijacked our religion. They didn't just hijack these planes and tear down the towers.
It's one thing to say that we treat people equally and that the documents demand that we do and that the courts enforce that we do. It's another thing to get people on the streets to, say, agree with that.
I know that anti-American sentiment has increased over time, and Islamophobia has also increased over time, so we're not making any progress. That's what I know.